Hi, I'm IKEA and I'm here to give you a build overview of our Red Future initiative. And layout-wise, that looks like this, with 4 pieces of FI, here all re-cored to red cores, which is a pretty expensive part of this build. Here on the chest, the holster, the knee pad, and the gloves, we have found pieces where we have crit chance or crit damage, and then re-cored the core over to red, making for the red in the red FI. Then together with a Cheska piece here in the backpack slot with Vigilance, and then together as well a Coyote. We're going for the crit chance, crit damage on ourselves to be decent, doing a little bit of damage on ourselves. But of course, the big part of this build is to have this chest on FI, making for 25 total weapon damage to all teammates whenever they're on full armor, and that means ourselves as well, giving a group buff that is pretty strong. And on this build picture, which I'll link in the description and in the comments, we see that all of the minor attributes are going towards crit chances and crit damage together with the mod slots as well. Here landing us on this 51, 156, respectable crit chance, crit damage numbers. Together here even with this Elmo, which isn't the highest damage dealer, of course, but it is kind of useful for its handling and such. It is easy to use weapon. We could go, for instance, with a Lexington with Killer, and then we would actually do more damage than this. But even this is okay-ish damage. Nothing, of course, compared to the damage-based gear sets like Strikers, like Heartbreakers and such. But still enough damage to get by for itself, and then together, of course, with that buff going towards our allies. Then we're picking Technician for our specialization, just for that little bit of extra healing through that extra skill tier for our healing skills. And while they aren't anything to write home about, they do help out a little bit. And that then is also the playstyle of the Red FI, as especially compared to, for instance, a full FI setup that has healing and that has the buff especially. But it doesn't have much personal damage. It has much more personal damage and the buff, but it doesn't have great healing. And then also actually compared to the combat medics have good personal damage, around the same area basically. And then together with that, they have good healing, but they don't have the buff. Basically, there being 3 points of a triangle, and each of these builds is hitting 2 of those points basically. And that's the trade-off here, and well worth having all of them, especially if you're the kind of player that does enjoy playing a Healy builds and being a little bit of support player to others. If you want to see it much more in-depth, there's already a build showcase on my channel with some gameplay and also a much more in-depth look, together with some variants as well. So if you're interested in that, please go watch the full build showcase.